welcome to another fantasy football show. We're here ahead of week 2, recording this on a Friday, so we'll get some injury information rolling in with all the questionables, doubtfuls, all that good stuff. But hopefully you won't need that. Hopefully we can give you some insight on who's playing. Travis Kelce is a go. Yay for everyone who took him before the worst catastrophe happened.
Do you like him more or less with Taylor Swift, like potentially dating him? Yeah, because it's like she's dating him. By the way, I want to make it clear.
The fallout of that won't become an issue until they break up. I think right now it's okay. It's the inevitable split that's going to cause it's going to get into his head because there's going to be a top charting hit.
Are you talking in song lyric right now? When he said like fallout, I got really, I got what? I started like thinking you were going down a different route there.
No.
Shows what we know about Taylor Swift song titles. Like it's you can say any word.
I started like going down that road. I was like, where am I going? You know.
I'm excited for the 30 for 30 where Mahomes reveals that this broke up the Chiefs franchise because of this eventual path. But I'm not.
She's the reason for
I'm not wishing ill on the
grass,
franchise,
right? She's the reason why some of the field isn't ready because they're like her tour like is ripping those fields up. You know.
True.
Gosh.
So
I heard Taylor Swift invented turf. So if anybody has any issues with these
blame it on her.
Tears,
yes. Oh, poor you.
Let me get to the injury rundown real quick, but before I'll give you a homework assignment to think about. We're among us. We play some underdog props. It's the new craze. I mean, fantasy. It's like a logical outreach of branch off of fantasy that you hit some overs, you hit some unders. Prize picks, sleeper picks. Yeah, you can head to the website. We have promotions with all those for a deposit match. But we don't have any prop numbers because it's early on Friday. But I want you guys to give me the no doubt this guy, I'm going over his prop, whatever the number is set at. Obviously, it's not going to be set at 150, but even if it is, you're going over. Or a guy that you're not hitting any prop. You're going under no matter what his number is. Can't be low enough for you. So homework assignment for you.
I want Justin to go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
That means I'm not ready, by the way.
I'll do my easy one, and then I'll do one that actually kind of makes sense. So what I've been doing, and I'm a sucker. I literally just told you guys what I was doing this week. Kickers. If I see a good kicker on a good offense, a really good offense, specifically like a Butker or a Dicker on the Chargers, 1.5 field goals, bro. I'm taking the over. 2 field goals I got to hit. They're going to be in the red zone quite a bit. If they stall out once or twice, that's a good over.
What about some PATs too? That's what I did last night with the Vikings guy. Like they're going to score. That's at least 2. That's 14 points. You know.
Yeah. There's value with the kickers for sure. I think, and I think those are obviously they're hard to predict, but they're less hard to predict if they're on a really good offense that is going to get into scoring range quite a bit. So that's what I'm saying. If I see a kicker, throw it in there. Another one that I see while he's healthy, get it while it's hot. Tua over whatever he's got, whatever his number is. I'll take the Tua over as long as the Trinity is healthy. Tua's brain's okay, and his wide receiver Waddle and Hill, they're on the field. I'm taking the over on Tua. That's pretty comfortable for me.
Now, Jacob, I have one. I just want to completely fade an entire team. So this is a lot of picks for everybody. I want to the Arizona Cardinals against the Giants. I think the Giants are going to come out a little bit better than a 40-0 beating. I would do unders on Dobbs. There's a calf injury bothering James Conner. I know I'm high on him this year, but don't be this week. Every single wide receiver in that team is going to be under. Like it's bad over there.
No, and I see a Giants revenge game brewing. I agree with that.
No, and I want to give as many picks as possible. So just go on to the Underdog app. You can literally search. You can go through it because it searches game by game, and just go to the Giants Cardinals game and just.
I was looking this morning for Dobbs because I did cash on one last week with Dobbs under, and I feel like that's going to be money for as long as they'll
200 yards.
If it's 200 yards,
yes. If it's 200 yards,
it was like 180 something when I got it, and that was fine. I still hit it. I mean, towards the end, in my head, I'm like, there's going to be some garbage chucking, and he had the ball, but there was a turnover, boom, and it was game over. It was over. But yeah, I think that's pretty comfortable under for whoever's throwing the ball.
Whoever it is, Clayton Tune, anybody, yeah.
I like Justin's mindset because you're picking a prop. We don't know what the prop is, but it's always going to be 1.5 for a kicker, so it's not that shocking.
It's set. Yeah.
Personally, I like Jimmy G over half a pick. I'm just hitting that until he doesn't.
Don't copy me. You saw me do that live.
I copied that from Taylor last week because he put that in. I know
my quarterback.
But going against the Bills, they're going to be mad too. I think, not going to be easy sledding for him. But let's get to some injuries real quick. Austin Ekeler, big fantasy name, obviously. Right mild high ankle sprain from video. He was able to finish the game, only 3 carries, not that effective. He obviously DNP'd Wednesday and Thursday. We're waiting for Friday, but maybe you want to look at Josh Kelly. I don't know.
I would.
Is he real?
No, I think
is he real? Like,
is that guy real?
Yeah.
He had the 4th most rushing yards in the AFC last week. He had 91 on 16 carries. 16 carries is something he might be doing more of. Ekeler also had 16, but he was super efficient with his 16. But I don't think Ekeler is going to rush as much this year. You're going to get a little bit more pass catching. They have a more spread offense with Kellen Moore. So there might be a chance, even with Ekeler coming back in a couple weeks, if he misses this week, Kelly might be still an option when he's there.
I'm seeing a lot of social media of Austin Ekeler, and he's a big fantasy football guy.
He's
so
a
he's
social
out
media
there,
guy as
he's
well.
Given he's given like insider info with the Chargers, and he's telling everybody to pick up Kelly. It forced quite a significant.
So
he's very
so
direct.
weird.
Sometimes I think it's during practice. Like I
Yeah.
remember seeing him talk yesterday. I was like, I know it might be pre-recorded, but like I'm seeing like a video of Kelly on the field. I'm like, where's Ekeler? Oh, he's talking, but he's probably not at the same time. But
if I'm in
it's
Eckler's
weird.
fantasy league and I see him pick up Kelly, like I'm claiming tampering. I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
You're
it's
It's
sitting
like
a
there-
little weird.
Schefter. It's like Schefter when he picks up somebody. Everybody in that league better be on notice because
Oh,
he knows
100%.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's saying that they could be like the Chubb Kareem Hunt like prime. That's what they're saying that their little dynamic could be. And I don't know if that someone in my league we do fab $100 for the whole season.
Yes.
Somebody blew 50 on Kelly,
Oh,
and I was
wow.
like, that's a bit. They don't even have Ekeler, and I was like, that's strange. I mean, he just might
Right.
be a bad fantasy football player. That's to be decided, but that was bold. There was some big bold takes on Kelly there.
Now 50,
in the fab
that's a
market.
Puka number. You can't
Those
throw
are
that
Puka
on anybody but
numbers,
Puka.
That's a cash out, right? You're cashing out on Puka. Yeah.
Speaking of Puka, he had the oblique. He was limited in practice last Thursday and Friday. Questionable, expected to go against the Niners. So that's going to be an interesting one for people who blew their fab or number 1 waiver claim.
They just released that he's not expected to be a key part of their team. So I mean,
Interesting.
That's a rude thing to
Part of the
say.
game. Part of- like long term, or are you talking about
Yeah,
game
no,
well,
plan
I mean
for
game
week 2?
plan wise, yeah.
We'll talk some Puka a little later. Just get to the rest of these. Aaron Jones, hamstring, DMP all week, but listeners questionable. Sorry, he's not going. AJ Dillon's the option there. Mark Andrews limited the last 2 days, but FP today he's questionable, but seems like he's going to go through his quad. We have a 6 score, 66, expecting it to linger a little bit, but obviously going to be more of a game plan than Isaiah Likely. Devontae Adams off the injury report of the foot. It was just a rest day. Jerry Jeudy going to make his return from the hamstring. That's an interesting one for the Broncos offense. Definitely hurts Sutton a little, but no Dulcich, so there's going to be some more targets to go around. James Conner with the calf, we mentioned a little bit. Limited, he's going to be questionable, but I don't know if you start him against the Giants. I don't even think you reach for Keontae Ingram either. That might be a little bit of reach. Hopefully you have some better options, but it is week 2, so running back market's rough these days. Pratt Freiermuth with the sternal contusion, he was able to come back and finish. Hopefully he can go Monday. Hopefully a lot of people aren't waiting till Monday to slide him in or not. Hopefully you have some better tight end options, but again, tight end market is also rough. Personally,
Rough. Tight end market is rough.
Personally, I have to wait to see if he will go or if I'm sliding in Hayden Hurst. So that's where I'm at in my tight end spot.
You should be starting Hayden Hurst now.
Yeah.
You should already be there.
I agree. Bryce Young.
Panthers,
feeding me,
right?
yeah.
Justin, you know about that.
Hayden Hurst did look like
Yeah.
the most competent pass catcher out there. At least the most healthy too, as well. Whatever's going on. Adam Thielen, I think, might just be aging himself out. I don't know how he got that contract, but
Yeah.
I'm proud of him.
Good
I
for
think
him.
he's more of a coach. That's why he got that
Yeah,
contract.
I
I think he's
guess.
like an assistant coach, wide receiver coach, trying to help that whole, because he needs a veteran, presence, right?
He's
There's
in
a
the
lot of
Randall
young
Cobb
receivers.
role.
Yeah.
Shark's never out there enough to be
I'm
present.
curious to see what a healthy Chark does, or if that even matters. But from what I saw last week, it looked like Terrace Marshall was the only one who could run around and do stuff, and he didn't even really do anything.
He
So,
didn't do much.
yeah.
that's
So
not a
it's like
great
that's what I'm
thing.
saying.
Yeah.
It's ugly over there.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins, we're expecting him to miss. Left high ankle happened on his last catch. DMP Wednesday and Thursday, probably going to be the same thing today. He's missing at least 1 week. So probably helps Treylon Burks. I don't even know who's the third there that might get some work.
He's on our leftovers. I don't want to
there you go.
but he's there.
Oh,
That's
he
the
is. Look
preview.
at him.
There.
Wow.
Yes. he is. He's saying.
I see it. I confirmed it is there.
I had to spell his name 9 different times, but he's there.
All right, let's get to our dudes and duds.
Dudes and duds.
So my name's at the top of this. Do you want me to just go for it? I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a victory lap because I was in on him only because last year there was some hype around him at the beginning of the year and he immediately got hurt, derailed everything.
You can't say victory lap right now.
I'm not.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. It's not a victory lap.
I'm just making sure. Like you said it. You said
it's
the
like
words,
this is like
so.
this is like a more of like I'm proud of you, kid. One of those things.
Little
It's
pat
not a
on the
victory
back,
lap.
little
Little
pat on the
pat on the
back.
back.
Victory stretch.
I'm excited. You're headed
Before
in the
the
right
lap.
direction. Kyron Williams, out of nowhere, 65% of the snaps. Everyone, obviously, Cam Akers exploded at the end of last year. To have this happen out of nowhere, because you really got to see no Kyron Williams in the preseason. Everyone was like, is he even going to be anything? Cam Akers was getting all the touches. Apparently, that meant they were keeping their starter on. Well, she actually didn't start the game.
What they do that though.
They
Sometimes
do that. They
do
kept
that.
him on
Yes,
ice.
yeah.
They're like, this is
Yep.
our guy. We don't
This
want
is our guy. Don't get hurt.
We
Yeah,
don't want to show anybody anything. 15
True.
carries, 52 yards. Not a whole lot there, but 2 touchdowns, and he was out for pretty much just all the meaningful portion of the game. I think Cam Akers got a lot of work late when they were already kind of doing
A lot of bad work though is what I want to say. That's why I think Kyron might go further than just this week too. Like you got 15 for 52, like you said. 3.5 is not horrible, but the 2 touchdowns is helpful because he's smaller too, but he's a little bowling ball, so that's helpful. 22 carries for 29 yards for Cam Akers.
Woo!
That's not going to cut it. And if I think what they're going to do, which will helpful as well, is they're going to do this hot hand approach. If they do that, Akers can't pass pro. We've talked about that at 6 Core many times, right? So if he doesn't have that going for him and he's not going to run efficiently, then Kyron might get 20 carries going forward, right?
Well,
There's no reason why.
Yeah, Kyron Williams is definitely the smaller back, but everything that they're talking about pass protection, they're saying Kyron Williams is like elite.
He shakes off people. No, he's not just a small back. He's a little bit of a like a Doug Martin, little muscle mouse kind of thing, right?
Doug Martin, that's a good call.
That's the 2 touchdowns is very key though, because that's not something I saw in his game. He when he was in college, he had to break stuff to get those TDs. So if he can vulture Cam Akers, then you're getting even more value than just the 20 carries or being involved in the high hand.
Now, I give Justin credit for the patience. He's been talking Kyron Williams since the inception of this podcast.
I showed you guys the trade I did last year.
It was the Schefter. That's what you said.
It was Schefter last year was hyping him up, and he never actually got to do anything. They said he mentioned that they really, really liked this guy. Got hurt on a like literally the first play of the game on a kickoff. He was playing special teams.
Fluky play. Yep.
And that just derailed everything. But now he's healthy and looks like they actually give a crap about him. So that's cool.
I'll go next. I guess we're going in order. Calvin Ridley. I was not as high on him because I don't like we talked about. I don't like the whole Deshaun Watson thing. I don't like the whole you're missing time, whatever the reason is, right? But he looked really good. Like 8 catches, 101 touchdown. He looks already like the main dude for Lawrence, which is something that if you can find that week 1, then sky's the limit for the rest of the season. Christian Kirk, looks like a bad draft pick now. The way they're running stuff is like they're 2 wide receiver sets. It's Zay Jones as a second guy, not Kirk.
Right.
So you're losing time there. So so good for Ridley. Good for everybody that had him. I had him a little bit lower than people should have. I should have in the rankings. So good for people that are on him. But look, he looks like he's gonna have a good whole season with Lawrence, and that Jaguars offense looks pretty dynamic.
I got Rashid Shaheed. Fun to say. Even funner to throw him a deep ball.
Yeah.
So much fun, right? You saw the video, Derek, my boy Derek.
Yeah. So I don't know how much you can rely on him week to week. He seems like the boomer bust guy. That's the definition of Rashid.
He is literally, yes.
But 5 catches, 89 and a touchdown, 2 rushes for 11. So good to see he's getting involved in both.
He's an end around. Yep. Yeah.
Derek Carr's a big quarterback upgrade for him. And seems like Dennis Allen is trying to get him the ball a little bit more in creative ways. So
no one's ever said that. A big quarterback upgrade and Derek Carr.
Yeah,
weird.
It is.
Yeah. That's disrespectful to Jameis. I feel like Jameis has to go. And maybe we can talk about that in a little bit. But I would love to see him go somewhere else.
On the Jets would be fun. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
All right, let's get to your dud, Justin.
I listen. I got no shares of this guy. This means nothing to me, but it was one of the most depressing displays of football I've ever
absolutely,
seen.
Yes.
Kadarius Toney, 5 targets, 1 catch, 1 yard. You said he had a rush for -1, so net 0 in the yards. 0. That's
actually
amazing.
net -6 points. So
that's hard to do. Yeah,
and a few drops as well that were costly drops. So
absolutely.
Obviously he's not great. I don't think he's. I was never really in on him in the first place. I did kind of get to the point where it was like depressing. It was kind of, I felt bad like for his
You
mental
feel bad
health.
for him because it looks
Yeah.
like he's like trying and it's not going. It's going the opposite way, right?
Right. And I did see he kind of clapped back at the Giants fans after they got blown out
On Instagram because he's not on Twitter right now. Yes,
So that's interesting. But
Yeah.
it's nice to know that he's going to get back out there and give it another try. But that was pretty
only way
putrid.
it can go is up, right? 'Cause
Right.
that's a disastrous performance. Yeah.
Yeah, you
so
can give him a little
gross.
bit of a break. The rust from knee, the meniscus trim, missed all training camp. Not great for season-long prospects meshing with Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, no one expected that kind of performance.
My dud is kind of a worrisome for like the whole season. I do not like what I saw at all from Deshaun Watson. That Bengals defense isn't elite, so it's not someone that should have shut him down like that. 16 for 29, so he was he was accurate more than some, but 154, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Amari Cooper didn't look good with him. I don't know if it's no Kareem Hunt, so they have a different offense. They're running Chubb more. Chubb looked good though, so it worries me that this is something that was from last year. And he had a whole offseason to work with this that he didn't have that the year before. So this is more worrisome just from now, but like going forward, I don't know if he can take advantage of a bad defense right now. It doesn't look like he's a person that should be in your fantasy lineup.
He's no Jacoby Brissett. I mean, you'd like to see
right.
some Jacoby
Like remember
Brissett
last
out
year,
there.
you were stacking. If you stacked Brissett and Njoku, you
Boom.
might have won a DFS week, couple weeks.
Yeah.
No, honestly, now it just like, and even when Watson came back last year, it seems like it's worrisome because it had a whole off season to kind of fix the stuff, and he looks exactly the same than he did, when he wasn't ready yet.
Now ask Amari Cooper who he wants at quarterback, especially Deshaun Watson.
I have a lot of Amari Cooper this
Yeah.
year, so I would like a lot of other people at the quarterback. Jameis Winston, you did mention, I'll take him.
He's drafted as a dual threat too. I think that's why Watson went so high in fantasy, and
Right.
you didn't really see that week 1. I mean, quick to rush to judgment, but has been multiple years since we've seen consistent good football from him. So, got my dud, Rashad White, 17 carries for 39, 2 catches for 10. Everyone knows he's the main back. Even Sean Tucker got a little bit of work, but it seemed like they kind of got tired of him, even in a game they were winning. It seems like Baker Mayfield is the more effective running back in space. No, I can't say that, but
well.
maybe.
It's just a little worrisome. Obviously, there's other running backs to be worried about, Alexander Madison, but
that's bad.
yeah, I don't want to put him in that territory yet. So we'll give him
He's
another
in
week.
Cam Akers territory. It's people that had 15 plus rushes that did nothing with them.
Right.
Deion Jackson, I think last week too. I know he's a third back, but 13 carries for 14. Like I'm good. Anthony Richardson, hopefully run more. You have to, right? But yeah, go on. Sorry, let me interrupt you.
No, that's all I had.
That's
all right,
it. Okay, so you mentioned.
it is.
So let's finish dudes and duds real quick. Obviously, that's over. But I just want to talk. You mentioned Anthony Richardson. We had a little thing at the end of the show last week where we kind of picked a rookie quarterback. Anthony Richardson, good.
He was the
Blew
best
him
one.
away.
Good.
He was the best one.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. Anthony Richardson surprised me. A lot more pass attempts than I thought we would.
Did I
see
pick
from
Bryce
him.
Young?
You picked Bryce Young. I picked Stroud, and we left Jacob.
Thank you.
With Anthony
to take
Richardson.
the winner. Yeah.
Oh, we did. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Not excited.
No,
Good
not saying he didn't pick him. I mean, I'm sure he probably would have picked him anyway.
He was the one with the best probably situation besides the running backs. Like Bryce Young looked okay, but there was times where he didn't. And then CJ Stroud had 3 offensive linemen out. So I mean, he actually did throw for 240 plus Stroud. So he was throwing, but no touchdowns, interceptions.
One of those catches to himself too.
Yes,
Impressive.
Love it.
So good to hear that Anthony Richardson's knee is not a big deal.
Yes.
We had 6 scores up, went back, did some research based on what he said, and by video, it was just the knee contusion. You can call it a bone bruise, but it's not the same bone bruise as Kelce. That's what Pro Football Doc has been telling us. So good to see that he'll be full usage and not shying away from rushing opportunities. All right, leftovers it is.
The leftovers.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking at this list right now. This is the first time I'm seeing it because I'm a slacker and I didn't do my homework. But
True.
No, it's a perfect reaction to this list.
yeah,
You're
I'm just-
live. It's live.
The thing is, there's some names on here that I'm interested in. There's some names on here that actually I saw get picked up by people in some leagues that I'm in. 14 team leagues. So yeah,
You start then. Who are you looking at this list? Not by the percentage, just who would you take right now?
Who would I pick up if this was on the waiver wire? And if I had to start someone, is that what you're saying? Like,
Yeah, because I don't care about your team. Not even because
No,
like,
not
I love you so
specifically
much.
team,
Just
but I'm
because
saying
like, I just want you to pick somebody.
objectively,
Yeah.
I can't bring myself to say Allen Robinson, despite the fact that he actually did
He's
produce
hurt
a little
us.
bit.
He's gonna make a lot of people believe.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I actually like Robert Woods.
Mhm.
I think Robert Woods is C.J. Stroud, veteran wide receiver. He actually got peppered pretty good last week. I think there
50+
might be
yards.
something there. So Robert Woods at 7% owned. I think I might be in on him as my favorite one out of this bunch right now.
That was one of the cool props we had at Six Score. One of our leans that we liked that we put out in articles and stuff. I believe Robert Woods was it.
I think it was over 575.5 for the year. So yeah, second year off
change.
ACL. I know a little older side, but
veteran though.
that helps. That helps with the rookie
Plus
quarterback.
Bobby Trees. Yeah, that's something.
Bobby
There's
Trees.
something to that name.
There's your fantasy name right there. You're gonna pick up a guy and make him your fantasy name.
And he's the best blocking wide receiver out there, so he's gonna be on the field all the time. I had two. I added here. Hunter Renfrow, I think, is gonna get peppered just because there's gonna be no Myers. Adams is okay with that foot. He is not even on the report going into the game. So, but Garoppolo does need to throw. He looked efficient. He didn't look great, but he looked enough to win games like what he did on the Niners, right? Nothing crazy, but Myers got a lot of targets. He got 2 touchdowns. Renfro's been there forever. I don't see why the Hillies gets like 50 yards and a touch maybe.
Yeah, so Myers obviously in concussion protocol. He's not played. He's already been ruled out, I think, this week.
He has been ruled out, yes.
So that sucks because he looked awesome. Right?
I liked him there.
He was getting work, and I was like,
it's Las Vegas Patriots, right? Every single person on that team has some Patriots tie.
And you know what's crazy? Him and Devontae Adams, one number off. They have the same hair. Every time I squinted, I was like, Adams is getting a lot. Nope. That's Myers. I was like,
I don't remember Myers having dreads last year either.
I think he grew it out. Yeah.
So because that's
very confusing, right? It's a tactic out there. Everyone's like, get Devontae, and it's nope. It's just Jacoby Myers. Putting you to sleep.
Is that a compliment for Myers or an insult to Adams?
I don't think it's an insult to anybody. I think it's a cool tactic. I think everybody should go out and try to look put the numbers. Everybody's numbers the same. Just make them all look identical, so you don't know who's shifting where. I think that's a good move.
I like it. Coordinate the hairstyles.
Yep.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That's a sneaky strategy.
It was probably Garoppolo's idea.
Oh, the second receiver I think I said two is Nick Westbrook-Keeney.
I'll allow it.
1.5% owned. No Hopkins. This guy actually does pop when there's nobody there. He's usually a blocking receiver, but he's not going to be able to block. They need people to catch, so he will be there a lot more than normal on the on passing routes. 1.5% owned. You can't do wrong there. That's someone that you could probably put in your lineup, and he does a little bit. Just I know it's Tennessee, but
no, that is a name
Chargers defense didn't look great, right?
Yeah,
and I know he's J.C. Jackson.
No Joey Bosa too. We didn't mention the injury roundup, but that's key.
That's key as well. Yes, and they have another linebacker, Eric Kendricks, that might not play with the hamstring as well. So
no, it's
there's gonna be a lot of space. Yeah,
he does seem every time I pop in, or every time the very rare circumstance they show Tennessee Titans on the red zone. His name pops up quite a bit. He does get a decent amount of work. It looks like. I don't
he's
know,
like 9 foot tall too, isn't he? I always see him. He's like a lanky,
he's long.
he's
long.
Yes.
Josh Reynolds sticks out to me. He was impressive in that debut against the Chiefs and going against the Seahawks secondary that's banged up.
He had the most receiving
yards,
right?
That stuff.
He had the most receiving yards. That's key.
He looks like. I mean, when I look at roster, it's like really he's there too, but then he plays like a 2 all of a sudden. So
he's been around the block. Like he was on the Rams. Remember, he was on there was one team Titans last year too. Right. We were just talking about. He was one of those guys that you would be on this list too for the Titans when they had nobody too. So he bounces around. He usually plays pretty effectively on the team.
It's not Marvin Jones anymore. That was a bad performance.
That was a try. They tried. They wanted to bring him back. Bring the Marvin Jones jerseys back. The people had, if you still had them,
Oh yeah, a lot of Marvin Jones.
Yeah, a lot of those. Yeah. But he, like you said, he looked terrible. He looked old, slow. He on top of that, he fumbled the ball in his
red zone.
Yeah, so that's not. It's more. Yeah, start giving more snaps to the young kids. I mean, and especially when Jameson Williams comes back, you might not see Marvin Jones. He might have a hat on as assistant coach, like we talk about Thielen. So. Yeah, he might not even be on the field as much when Williams comes back.
Last one's worth mentioning, especially with Dolchich out multiple weeks with a hamstring. Adam Troutman.
This is your guy. You like him?
Yeah, the Saints connection with Sean Payton is so clear. Like, he got the same kicker. Like, he's bringing back Jimmy Graham. Like,
yeah, when they signed him, I was like, I'm not touching Dulcich anywhere. It's not that Dulcich is bad. I still actually think he's good somewhat. I just think no one cares about him or likes him at all. And I just
I don't
felt
know
like,
why.
I don't
Poor
know.
dude.
It's
like
something we're not
talent
seeing.
tight end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something we're not seeing. I don't know.
Jimmy Graham's on the
Troutman's gonna get work.
Saints, I believe, not the Broncos
correct.
guys. Yeah,
You're right.
you're good though. Yeah, he went back to the Saints though.
I just think Troutman only played like the second half really and got 5 targets. So I'm trying to read some tea leaves.
Little Jordan Humphrey.
Hopefully,
Brought
yeah.
him. Brought him.
Yeah,
there
there
you
was
go.
games
Brought him.
like- I thought Marvin Mims was the one. I thought he was going to have an
It's just
opportunity to
rookies.
happen.
Rookies
I
are
know.
weird. It's like I told you last year, like, oh, Jalen Tolbert, and then Jalen Tolbert had a way to get the 3rd spot, but then Noah Brown was better. You know what I mean?
But
So
the
it's
thing
just
is,
like,
Marvin Mims was given wide receiver 2. Well, I mean, he wasn't
by
given
injury.
it. By injury,
Right.
right?
KJ
It was
Hamler
it.
and Tim Hantrick literally gave him the
Yeah.
Sliding
Yeah.
up
So
the
I
depth
thought
chart.
maybe
Yeah.
there might be some pepper or at least a couple. He got like 1 catch. I think it was.
Who
like,
was Johnson up? It was like Brian Johnson or Marcus Johnson. I don't know who was, but there was a lot players that weren't Marvin Mims that were catching the ball. So it was an
Yeah.
interesting, first day.
No, it's always fun in early weeks of fantasy because you'll see people overreact. Like, if someone drops Marvin Mims, no doubt I'm picking him up and holding him for season long. Because
Right.
I dropped him. I said no, not for me. I dropped them for a couple other people, but that's
What's
that's a
going to
different
change
story.
though? At least like you have like a little bit like Addison, like a couple, like 3 catches maybe, and like 3, like maybe 35%, and then like in snaps, all of a sudden you go to like 75. Like, this is a bad first start. Like, I don't know if you you got to still step by step.
I do have Penny on my roster, so he will shortly be gone.
They hate him.
Yeah, they hate him.
He's
I had hope.
He's a change of pace for Boston Scott. I didn't realize that. I was just like, oh, like Gainwell wasn't even there. Like, he's a change of pace for Boston Scott. That's crazy. They gave him $8 million.
Well, last night's game too, it was like he had a limited number of snaps and he had a hold on one of them. So it's like, okay, see ya.
Yeah.
We'll see you week
4
7.
snaps, 3 carries, 9 yards. Every single running back was more efficient than him, including Boston Scott that had a concussion after. But like,
missed opportunity last night. I'll let you know. I had the in-game 31 over 31 rushing yards for DeAndre Swift in my bag. I was literally about to hit the button. Refresh happened and he was gone.
Because he went like a 40-yard run or something.
I literally just missed it. He had no yards at that point, and then he went.
It's like a stock
he
market.
Did like 15 yards.
Yeah.
No, he had like a 15-yard and like a 10-yard carry after that, and I was like, well, that's gone.
The first drive, he didn't carry the ball once. It was like Hurts had it like 3 times. So like his number would have stayed like 0 for like a good amount of time. But like, it's like a stock market. The second that stuff happens, it says
crazy.
Projections pending, and you're like, you're screwed. You know, like,
what an interesting job that would be to be the ones that are like, all right, we got to shift the
prop
number.
one,
Yeah, like that's interesting.
Hell yeah, that's a great job.
That's the stock market component right there.
And then you'd have to tell me to not bet, and I would have to cancel that job.
Oh yeah.
It'd be a hard job to have.
All right, let's get to some shootouts and droughts.
It's some shootouts and droughts.
We're in the Wild West. Just transports me every time I hear that.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Actually, none of these games are in the West this week, which kind of sucks.
We're in the
None of
Wild
these-
East.
Yeah, it's the Wild East.
Or the tame East, I guess. It has to be like opposite.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm reaching.
God.
I don't know if it's me, but just looking at these totals, it feels like everyone reacted to the low scoring week 1. Not only was it a low kind of fantasy key guy scoring, but just low scoring overall. So not a ton of ones that stick out, and you're not going to get Thursday's game might be the most high scoring. It'd be hard to top that.
It was as a casual viewer of football, it was top 5 worst red zone experience for me.
It was the grossest.
It was like, I was like,
high-scoring
what is
game.
going on? I thought people scored. Like, it was, I don't know what was going on. It was like halftime of the first games, and I was like, this is lame. What's going
They
on
start
here?
showing like actual drives, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
they're like, wait, this guy's at
You know?
the opposite 40. Why am I don't even, that's the closest to the red zone we're getting here? Like,
It's Anthony Richardson watch. Like, they start showing players.
They're about to show a punt.
yeah. Oh, it's gross.
So KC Jacksonville is the top over under total of the week, 51.5. What do you guys think of Kelce? I think at 6 score we have him at 6 score 71. Yeah, we know he's going from the knee, but how much do they involve him in the game plan is the key question that I don't think anyone can answer at this point. But
I will say though, they might force him because they can't go 0-2. Jaguars are not a bad team; they're a good team, so they have to play like top level football. I mean, he might score. I don't know if they can utilize him down the field like the chain mover like he usually is, but He's got to score.
It's a good question. It's a fun little question. I don't think we should spend more than 30
fun
seconds.
little question.
I don't think we should spend more than 30 seconds on it because anybody who's drafted Travis Kelce, if they give him the green light to step on the field,
he's
you
in
throw him
your
in there.
lineup.
You're putting him in there because whoever the replacement is you have for them, it ain't going to be whatever a 25%.
You didn't have one.
Yeah, whatever.
Kelce, you didn't draft a tight end after.
It ain't going to be 25% Travis Kelce even. So just throw Kelce in there and yeah, that's it.
I might start Noah Gray just for fun.
Just to be a hater.
Just to be a hater. Yeah.
Try it out.
Anti-Taylor Swift guy over here starting Noah Gray. You know?
Kelce with a knee or without a knee, like he's catching red zone targets. So he's going to pop 2 touchdowns maybe.
You think without a knee he's catching some targets?
Yeah, I think so.
Completely devoid of a knee.
Peg leg, he might
There's a gap there. I don't even know how the calf and ankle are still moving.
Is he going to catch it with the knees or non-knees?
Next one I have is Seattle, Detroit, 47.5. We touched a little bit on the Seattle defensive issues. So that could be start every Detroit player.
This might be a smash over. I think even Seattle, like Seattle with their Detroit, they don't have as many defense issues as Seahawks. And I think Seahawks can score on them. Najibba is a little better. Walker's a little better as well from both their injuries. What were you going to say, Justin?
No, I'm excited for this one. I just think these are
a fun game
that
a
lot of fantasy relevancy in this game from both sides, and it's like their defenses kind of stink. And I shouldn't say that. Detroit did pretty well against Kansas City, all things considered.
Aiden looked good. Aiden Hutchinson looked like a pretty he's star really player at the DN spot. Yeah,
it'll be a good test because it did feel a little bit self-inflicted by the Chiefs.
Yeah, so this has a chance. I want to see this one probably more so than the Kansas City Jacksonville game. Even though I know that's going to be good.
They're two good games though. These are two solid games. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I think this also has a chance if the Detroit Lions are actually as good as they looked or as good as they intend to be, and the Seahawks are as good as if week 1 ports over to week 2.
There, you added like 5 what ifs.
I'm undoing all those what ifs to just say if they did in week 1 what in week 2. There's a chance that the Lions just blow them out. It's just a steamroll, which is going to be gross. I don't want Geno Smith to come back down to earth because I really liked what he did last season.
He might have.
I know. I'm scared. So I want him to bounce back. But if he doesn't, it's danger zone for the Seahawks players.
Because they're a team that almost drafted a quarterback this year, and if not, they might want to this year too. They're at a certain point they got lucky last year with the Geno hype, and he outperformed Russell Wilson, which is no one expected, right? This year, that's why it was hard to draft him fantasy. It wasn't anything to do with him. It was just how are you going to do that again? And it's a weird thing to say because nothing changed. The offensive line might have arguably got better this year, though they're very injured.
Right.
But the talent got better. You got another running back. There was never really anything behind Walker or anything they had before. Najibba's amazing once he gets healthy. So defensively, they added a couple. They got Witherspoon in the draft. Arguably, they got better than last year. I know they're injured, but it's weird to still think that they're not going to be as good as last year, though. It's just I
want them to bounce back better than they were in week 1. And if they do, then this is going to be a really, really good game.
This is the one that should have been 51.5, I would say. That's why this might be a smash over because this is 4 points, I would say, less than I thought it would be, so.
Are you guys worried about Charbonnet's week 1 line? I think he had 3 carries for 15.
I would say every single rookie should suck week 1. And if they did, then you got lucky. Jordan Addison, that kind of stuff. You're getting lucky with that. That shouldn't happen yet.
Unless you're Puka.
He's figured Puka's a different story. It's not going to happen again either. So it's like Tutu Atwell, that game made more sense because he's been on that offense for 3 years now. He's just soaking wet 100 pounds, But
tough to be effective week to week with that. We saw it with kind of Gainwell. They ran Gainwell into the ground and he picked up a rib injury. So hopefully he's back for week 3. I think it's kind of status up in the air, but extra rest might help him a little.
What do you do as a Swift owner if Gainwell's back? You still got to start him, right?
I heard what do you do for a Klondike bar?
No, I'm saying, you know what I mean? That's it's going to be such a weird backfield where Swift owners right now are
they're on top of the world and they're going to have to come back to earth maybe. I mean, Penny's, it sounds like that might be a healthy scratch for the whole season, which is just absolutely crazy. From a GM or back end standpoint, they messed up because Barkley's getting 11. Josh Jacobs is getting 12. He's $4 million off that, and a guy that's healthy scratched every week. It's insane. It seems like something like that. You wanted him on your team because you maybe needed a depth running back, and then the second he got to your team, you're like, holy crap, this is the wrong fit. Like he already signed his contract. He already did everything. And like the second he went on the field, you're like, wow, he doesn't work with this run scheme.
Yeah.
Like it just
Kudos
seems like
to
it was
him,
that,
man.
No,
I
like
appreciate him.
he's
cashing
getting
out.
paid,
That's good,
and he it's good for him too, because like if he's not going to get run, he's an injury magnet. Next year, maybe he's less mileage.
Yeah.
You know, got a silver lining.
I think I feel for Swift owners because they're going to get vultured by the Jalen Hurts 1 yard touchdowns all year.
What if you have
That
Hurts and
too, and I
Swift like
feel like
me?
You
I
should have
both.
Hurts and Swift.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody who has Swift is going to be knocking on your door to try to sell high, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I liked him this year. I didn't expect that game. So, like, that's cool. But if he has games that he's like getting 70 and a touch and like a 30 yards receiving, that's more
that'd
reliable.
be awesome. But is that?
Yeah, and
is
I think
that-
he can do that.
I think he can. I just don't.
I think
know
Kenneth
that.
I don't
Gainwell
think
lost his
Sirianni's
job.
going to give him the
I think Kenneth
opportunity.
Gainwell
Okay.
lost his job. I think
he
that's
should
enough.
have.
I think it's still going to be like a committee. So it's not like, oh, Swift's going to get 25 again. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But like, I think like the pecking order changed. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I can agree with that. But again, I'm scared. It's just
It's still-
too many,
no, it's
too
a-
many
it's a-
backs
it's a
in the
committee.
kitchen,
Oh,
man.
Every
Yeah.
year, there's at least one running back room where you're like, I have no idea what this is going to be next week, and it looks like it's the Eagles this year. So that's going to be a fun ride for all those owners. Vegas and Buffalo 47. I don't know what to make of that.
Why am I scoring?
Why is,
me as the Raiders, like my team?
is it just Josh Allen bounce back game? Like he's going to be elite.
They're going to score
snap
47
back to
points.
being elite.
That's what they're saying. I don't know what the implied total is for the Raiders, but I think everybody expects the Bills to come back and just stomp. If they don't, if they go 0-2
What's the
and lose
spread
to
on that
the
game?
Raiders,
Is it 7.5 or 10?
I think it's up to 8.5.
So if it's 8.5 and it's 47, they think they're over in 30. That's
so they're gonna come out balling, which is I guess I did something I don't normally do, and we did it in the mock drafts before. I took a quarterback early. I got Josh Allen in the third, and I was like, I don't know how it happened. I think in my head, and I know in my head I was like, I'm gonna take. I really wanted Fields, which I'm not sure if I'm okay with not having. I think I'm okay not having him right now. But
first
I think he's
week
still
I'm
gonna be
okay. I'd be okay. Yeah.
But now I'm like, I spent a third on Josh Allen, and he just did that, right? So now I'm like, I paid up for a quarterback. I could have got that from anybody. I could have got that from Jordan Love off of waivers.
Are you surprised in the turnovers though? Because that's his thing.
I don't think I'm surprised for. I don't think I'm
is a lot.
surprised.
No, 4 is a decent amount.
I'd be like classic Joshy. But like
he threw 3 to the same guy though.
Yeah.
3 to the same guy means he's just missing that one play maybe, or like just over the top. Maybe that might help you out. Like he's not just like linebacker, cornerback, safety. Like he threw it it's like Jesse Bates. He picked off rookie. Was it Stroud?
Right.
Twice. That's just because that's one guy just like, all right, that guy's easy. Like
so you're the Raiders guy, right? So who on the defense this week's getting 3 picks?
There's nobody.
You had to pick one. No, you had to pick one.
Oh, sorry. No, I think Trevin Morig is good. He's a good like safety. So I'm going to go safety because it seems like that's the issue. Like he's not getting beat. Diggs showed he's still burning CBs like it's his job. So that's fine. It seems like there was that one couple passes over the top that he wasn't seeing, and that might be something that might linger.
I think that's just a throwaway game for Josh Allen. Like it was just weird. Rodgers goes down the first series, and then I think the Bills just kind of took the foot off the pedal. Just let's mess around, not like that, but just like I don't think they had the same level of focus as if Rodgers didn't go down.
I don't think Josh Allen's going to rush this more this year. We have that like as one of our sick picks, I believe. His rushing yards. That's the one thing maybe I was avoiding him in fantasy too. I think UCL injury. He had 2 of them. Just don't rush him. I know it's his thing, but like he runs differently than Jalen Hurts does. Like it's more powerful, more puts his weight down. So
week 1, we kind of saw that. It seemed like when he was rolling out, he's rolling out to throw, not rolling out to I'm going to pick up 30 yards, which past couple seasons that's what it's been. So that'll be interesting to see week to week. Last one I have on the list real quick. Chargers Titans 45.5. It's just they had a big fourth game.
It might be a good number. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is. I will say. Remember, I was talking kickers earlier on Underdog. I got both these kickers.
Oh, that's a kicker.
Over
it's
2
a
field goals.
It's a kickoff game.
Nick Folk had 5 field goals last week. I don't listen. Obviously,
Nick Folk is a veteran. He's been there. He's.
I was saying the Titans. I don't know if they're finishers. You know what I mean? Like they can. What are
they going to finish?
They ain't finishing. Not the end zone.
No,
that's what I'm saying. So I'm okay with taking some kicker action here. But I do think there'll be a lot of points. On the Chargers side,
like extra points, 1.5. Dicker the kicker. you might
That
need
could
to
work.
take that.
That
Yeah,
could work.
yeah.
I took regular field goals too because I just think I don't know how I feel about the Tennessee Titans just as a team holding the ball long enough for it to really matter. I think the Chargers are
They're
going
a
to have
three
a
and
lot of
out
possessions.
waiting to happen, right? Yeah.
If Henry doesn't get you the first down, you don't get a first down.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know. It's weird over
Unless
there.
McKinney's getting you like 7. So then
Yeah.
you have to find a way to get that 3, and they're they gotta struggle with it.
It's true. These are facts. That's going to be a weird one though.
That number might set perfectly. It might be Chargers more one side on that, and you might get the under just because the Titans don't score, right? That might be a get back Chargers game too.
Yeah.
After they lost to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
just-
I agree.
Go ahead, Justin.
No, as I'm saying, the only one thing I'm trying to figure out is Ekeler going to play or not, and if he does,
He didn't
it's that
practice
Kelly
today.
thing.
They just released that a couple minutes ago. So I would argue and
I think
say
he's picking up
does
Josh
that.
Kelly.
Yeah.
I think that's
I would do that
that's my
now
tea leaves.
before someone just saw Ekeler
So that
miss,
to me, and Kelly looked okay last week, but Kelly
looked
has
good
not
enough,
historically looked amazing. I don't know if I'm just going to bestow him the Ekeler role and think that's going to be what you're going to get.
right.
That's why I'm saying take the kicker, baby. Just take the kicker.
Good
You're not
lead-in.
going to Ekeler is going to get a lot of those touchdowns, finish the drives. Is Kelly going to finish those drives the same way Ekeler does? I don't know. So I'll just
That's a
take
good
I'll
thought.
take the kicker. That's my thought on that.
All right, final plug. You can head to sixscore.com to get all the info on the latest fantasy players, sick insights where you want to head. You can check out the field views to see key matchups. If 2 secondary players are out, probably want to target some wide receivers. Just a little fun tip. But yeah, we'll be back next week talking some more fantasy.
Bye. What a weird way to say bye. Who says bye like that?
Wait,
Bye.
Bye.